We are also thankful that this organization seeks out and honors individuals who have demonstrated strong civic responsibility. This evening, we are especially grateful for our 2018 honorees, Mrs. Margaret Murchison and Attorney Jimmy Love Sr. We ask, dear Lord, that you bless this event, bless each person in attendance, bless the food prepared for this occasion, and we ask that the food provide physical nourishment and strength for the body. This is my prayer. Amen.
Hello, this is Mayor Chet Mann, and I just want to take a moment to say congratulations to my friends Jimmy Love and Margaret Murchison on your Man and Woman of the Year awards. Really deserving people, have long service to our community, Sanford, and the state of North Carolina. I couldn't think of two people more deserving of this award. I couldn't be more proud to be your friend and have you in our community. Congratulations to both of you. Thank you.
Well, this is Jimmy Hare with the City Council saying congratulations and well deserved to Margaret Murchison and Jimmy Love. They've both been a part of this community for a long time, and they've put a lot of work and effort into making this a better place to live.
On behalf of the Sanford Area Growth Alliance, Margaret and Jimmy, congratulations on being named Woman and Man of the Year.
On behalf of WWGP, we'd like to congratulate Jimmy Love and Margaret Murchison for Man and Woman of the Year.
My name is Reverend Thomas Smith, pastor of First Calvary Baptist Church. Congratulations to Jimmy Love and Sister Margaret Murchison for being Lee County Community Foundation's Man and Woman of the Year. Especially congratulations to Margaret Murchison, who is a member of our church and an active part of our ministry. Margaret does a tremendous amount of work and labor here in the church, and we're so proud of her. Congratulations, Jimmy and Margaret. Thank you.
Hi, this is Kate Rumley. I am so happy that Margaret Murchison and Jimmy Love received the Person of the Year from the Community Trust. They are both such wonderful people, have done so much in our community. Margaret is also the board chair of Brick Capital Community Development Corporation. Yay! And Jimmy Love has always been a friend of ours. So with that, I just wish them much luck in all the rest of their time, and especially in all the special work they do. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Jimmy.
Hi, I want to wish congratulations to Margaret Murchison and Jimmy Love on Man and Woman of the Year. Couldn't happen to better people. This is Sherry Garner at Gown & Tux.
Congratulations to Margaret Murchison and Jimmy Love for their wonderful opportunity to be named Woman of the Year and Man of the Year. This is from Ophelia Livingston, Triple J Publishing, Sanford, North Carolina.
First. No, I thought you were going to speak for us. He love to do that. Yeah. On behalf of Wilson Reeves and Silverman, we would like to say congratulations to Jimmy Love and Margaret Murchison, two of the hardest working, best civic servants that any community could ever have. Thank you all for all you do.
And congratulations, Jimmy and Margaret.
Hi, I'm Larry Aiken, and I just want to congratulate Margaret Murchison and Jimmy Love for being Man and Woman of the Year. And I have to do this while I'm eating Yvonne Bullard's pie that she made up for us for our Rotary Club. But Margaret and Jimmy, we are so proud of you, and we look forward to celebrating your Man and Woman of the Year on Tuesday next week. Thanks, bye.
Congratulations to Jimmy Love and Margaret Murchison, very deserving Man of the Year and Woman of the Year. You deserve it. Proud of you. Keep on doing great things in Lee County.
Congratulations to Jimmy Love and to Margaret Murchison for being the Man and Woman of the Year.
From Jonesboro Rotary, congratulations to Margaret Murchison, Jimmy Love, Man and Woman of the Year. Thank you.
Congratulations to Jimmy and Margaret for Man and Woman of the Year.
Congratulations, Margaret and Jimmy, on your Lee County Man and Woman of the Year. Thank you so much for all you do. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, Margaret and Jimmy, for being named Man and Woman of the Year. We thank you for support to the community, and we are honored to recognize you for your service.
Congratulations to Margaret Murchison and Mr. Love. We are so happy for you. Congratulations again. I just wish you the best.
Jim and Margaret, you're Man and Woman of the Year. Congratulations. Really proud of you.
Congratulations on the honor of Man and Woman of the Year. It is a great honor to achieve, and keep up the good work in the county and the city. Thanks.
Congratulations to my longtime friend Jimmy Love on his being named Man of the Year for Sanford and Lee County. I can't think of a better person to receive this honor.
This is Miss Lee County. Oh, her. This lady knows everything.
Hi, I'm Joanne Thaxton. Margaret, I'm thrilled to be able to say congratulations. I'm glad that we're going to get all the things that you've done on tape because we can never remember them. It's just too many. Thank you, girl, for all your hard work.
Hello, I'm Gladys McAuley. I'm a resident of Lee County, Sanford. I think Margaret Murchison is awesome. She has her pulse on the community. She knows what's going on, just a wealth of knowledge. Her service to this community is unmeasurable. She is involved on every possible level, church level, what's going on as far as legislature, just the development of Lee County in itself. I've admired her tremendously. I hope she knows that because I can't think of anyone that I would hold up against her as far as really being able to tell you what Lee County is about. So she is a treasure that we have here in Sanford and Lee County.
Margaret Murchison is one of the most wonderful women I have ever met. She's very knowledgeable. I think she knows everybody in Sanford, and every one of them loves her. She is a fantastic person.
I'm Gabby Murillo, and I work with Margaret on the board of directors for United Way, and she is a great asset to our community.
My name is Ricky Frazier, and I am one of the former county commissioners, and I am currently on the board of commissioners for the Central North Carolina Community College. But I am so delighted and thankful that I can just take about 2 or 3 seconds to say thank you and congratulations to Miss Margaret Murchison, who I've been knowing ever since I was in the 8th or 9th grade. And she has been certainly a jewel and a fantastic friend for all of these years. And I want to salute you today and give tributes and congratulations to a job well done for all these years. Thank you so much, and may the Lord continue to bless you in a special way. Bye.
Margaret Murchison, she was friends with my wife, which was the manager and part owner of D.A. Kelly's, DAX. They were good friends in the 70s and 80s and the 90s. And so I can only say good things about the young lady. Thank you.
Good morning, Margaret. It's a beautiful day out here in Sanford. Have a good day.
My name's Gordon Anderson. I've known Margaret for about 15 or 16 years, and there's nobody with her finger on the pulse of Sanford more than Margaret Murchison.
All right, Margaret Murchison's been a great asset to this county as a female, as a black, as a person. So we're lucky to have her.
Okay. I'm Ann McCracken. I'm a longtime friend of Margaret's, and I guess the thing I can say about her is that she is a force unequaled in Sanford. I can't say enough good things about her, but Sanford and Lee County both are much better places because of her.
Hi, my name is Jan Cashner-Tart, and I cannot remember how far back I go with Margaret. It seems like I remember Margaret since I was a toddler. Anybody who's ever lived in Lee County knows Margaret Murchison. And if you know Margaret, you know a wonderful person. She loves this county, she loves Sanford, and she is a true reporter. If you ever need to know what's going on, just call Margaret. She's going to let you know. She's not going to hold anything back. She knows everybody, and she served Lee County probably in every way you could possibly imagine. And if you know Margaret, you have a great, true friend.
Margaret, I just want to say thank you for being the glue that helps hold the Lee County Democratic Party together, and thank you so much for everything that you do.
Margaret Murchison is a very nice person. I've known her ever since I've been in the Democratic Party here in Sanford. I'm from Chatham County, but she's a very well thought of person. She does a lot of informative emails every day about things that affect this community, and I just think she's a super nice and very intelligent person. My name's Bill Klein.
I just want to say that Margaret is a wonderful person in our community. I've really enjoyed getting to know her, and I think she's a great asset for Sanford and Lee County, and I'm looking forward to many years of her being involved in the community.
Hi everybody, my name is Pat Kirkman, and I can't say enough about Margaret. She is definitely a jewel in the town of Sanford. She does so much for so many other people, and if I had anybody to emulate, she's who I would like to emulate.
All righty, Margaret Murchison has been a long-time Sanford resident. I love her and respect her. She's a trailblazer in our community when it comes to civil rights and engagement.
I've known Margaret since 2001 when I moved to Sanford, and I've always been impressed with her ability to lead in all the things she does. She makes Sanford, Lee County, and North Carolina a better place.
Yeah, when I think about our community and the kind of people who make it stronger, I think about Margaret, and I really respect her and am happy to have her for a mentor.
All right, so we're going to do this one for the first time for Margaret and everything she does for us. All right, there we go. I ain't going to make y'all stand up for the song. Do I sing it now? Yeah. I was born by the river in a little old town, and just like that river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm so afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keeps telling me, boy, don't you hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. But then I go to see my brother. And I say, brother, help me please, help me please, help me please. Then he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there's been times that I thought I wouldn't last for long. Oh, but now I'm able, yes, I'm able. Lord, I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Thank you. Terry's getting ready to tell us to do it again.
Okay, wake up. All right, I'm going to tell you, I wanted to do this earlier, but we got out of sequence and I got to show you something. I'm going to tantalize you for just a minute. You see this right here? I hope I don't slip it on the floor. You're about to get some of this. See this dessert? This isn't just any old ordinary dessert. See, when somebody wants to feed their friends and their... You see that? Don't grab it out of my hand. You can't have it. I'm going to tell you what this is. This has got a special twist to it. You know how I told you that when you become, you get recognized for being a man or woman of the year, and we acknowledge you for all that you've done for the community. You know, this is not a funeral, okay? This is, you know, you're not going to be hearing obituaries and all that stuff. We're going to be hearing some good stories, and we want to keep this story alive for a long time. So these folks are still contributing to our community. Remember how I introduced Dr. Ann a minute ago? This is what her passion was. She wanted to bring this to you tonight as her contribution to this tonight, as her gift to you, as the dessert that you're about to get. So if you would give Ann McConville a round of applause. We thank you so much for that. That's a nice touch. And we're going to move on with the program, if that's okay with you, and you just continue on there serving the desserts now. And if you say, and ah, that's all right. That'll be perfectly fine. So where's Sister Margaret? There you are. And we got two Margarets sitting at the table. I'm told we almost have to separate them because they get a little antsy. But so when I first came to town 13 years ago, one of the first people I met was Margaret. I sit on the United Way board with her, and I noticed when I come to these meetings, and you've known her longer than I have, but there was this, she changed her look. She just changed. And I said, Craig, how do you do that? Most people just get a haircut. Most people just change their glasses. Margaret just changes. And I call her Little Tina Turner. So, and she's done that act several times. But that was amazing. Margaret's just got a high spirit about her, doesn't she? Just an energetic person. You always want to be around. And every time I'm around Margaret, I get a hug. And I really appreciate that. And you're well deserved of this. But to introduce you tonight, or to introduce the speaker that's going to rattle your cage tonight, the Honorable Robert Reeves II. If you will, let me just read a few things about him tonight. And you know what? I learned a little bit myself. And I'm deeply honored by this, being able to present you tonight. The Representative Robert Reeves II has served in the North Carolina House of Representatives since 2014. He represents House District 54, serving the constituents and portions of Lee and all Chatham counties. In his tenure, Robert has been recognized for his legislative leadership by the League conservation voters, and their Green Tie Rising Star Award, and has been endorsed each election by the North Carolina State AFL-CIO and the North Carolina Association of Educators and the Sierra Club. As a former district attorney, Robert approached legislation with an eye towards protecting those who are marginalized, vulnerable, and oppressed. His experience as a certified mediator and attorney gives him the skill set to help opposing factions reach consensus and resolve conflict. Man, is that ever needed in the political environment we're in today? You ought to go a long way. Prior to becoming a legislator, Robert earned a renowned Hogue Scholarship while studying at the University of Chapel Hill and to acquire his BS in Business Administration and Finance degree. Robert continued to study at the University of Chapel Hill, where he received his Juris Doctorate from the University of Chapel Hill School of Law. After graduating from law school, Robert returned to his community, serving as a prosecutor for the Lee County District Attorney's Office. A little over 4 years later, Robert entered into private practice and has been a partner of the law firm of Wilson & Reeves for almost 2 decades. Wilson & Reeves, and now known Silverman, is known as a community benefactor, sponsoring education scholarships and numerous community events. Robert continues his service to his community outside the NCGA by being a board member of the Lee County Community Education Foundation, a board member of the First Citizens Bank Local Advisory Board, a member of the Lee County Boys and Girls Club, a member of the Executive Committee of the Lee County Democratic Party, past president and present member of the 11th District Bar Association, and past president and present member of the Lee County Bar Association. Robert is married to the former Cynthia Taylor from Goldston, and they have 2 wonderful children, Brianna 12 and Robert III 6. The Reeves attend Robert's Chapel Missionary Baptist Church in Goldston, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you the Honorable Robert Reeves II.
Good evening, everybody. And one thing I've noticed as I've gotten a little bit older is when you get times like this, they affect you differently than it probably did 20 years ago. I am truly honored to have the opportunity to introduce to you, and for the first time I'll call her Margaret. Mrs. Murchison to me all my life, but Margaret Murchison. She has been something, is the best way I can say it. I think the thing is that I'm probably the worst person to introduce her because I grew up with a son, Tiger, and so, you know, she was always basically mama to me, so all the good stories I don't really feel I can tell because I really think I can get whooped. And if you know Margaret, she probably would actually try to whoop me. A lot of you know a lot about her background. I will tell you a little bit about that, and that she's a 1966 graduate of W.B. Wicker School, came back as a teacher's assistant, moved on to the middle school. She's worked in the school system, community college, and then just began an unparalleled career in journalism. You know, after leaving Lee Senior in 1978, she goes into broadcasting. She's been doing that ever since. I guess that's 40 years on the dot now. That is amazing to stay with any job that long. I'm hoping Bill Wilson let me stay with him that long. He keeps bothering me about my other job. But, you know, she's such a product of this community. She's everything that you think of when you think about Sanford. I mean, she is a hard worker, grew up with 5 siblings. She has done every job that could be done at the station. I really don't think there's anything left for her to do except for, I guess you probably had to clean the floors that many times. Oh, you've done that a lot too, okay, my fault. But the awards that she's won, the things that she's done are only a part of who she is. You know, what I think that meant the most to me about her, and I feel like you have to at least give this personal story is what she was, not just to me, but to all of the kids that have grown up with Margaret. She's got a special way with people. And just as Mike was just saying that, you know, he always gets a hug when he sees her, and when she does, she always made you feel special. And this is the part where you get emotional, okay? I've known Margaret all my life, but we got especially close. You know, I'd grown up in Carr Creek, and then we moved to the big city of Sanford. So when we moved to the big city, we had to switch churches. And so we came to First Calvary Baptist Church. And amazingly enough, Margaret still runs the youth program there, which tells you how young I am. But she was running the youth program. And what my memory is of it is I was 8 years old, and it's tough when you're going into a brand new group of people. And you know, and I had Tiger there, but you know, that was it. You know, I didn't know any of these other kids. I didn't know these people at this church. I didn't know these adults. And Margaret treated me perfectly. You know, because when you're that age, you don't want a lot of attention. You don't want to be the teacher's pet, but you do kind of want to have some backup just in case something goes bad. So she always had my back. But she was always making sure that I was in the best position that I could be to succeed even then. And that year became a good, easy year. And that was mostly because of her. And if any of you know my father, you know that he doesn't trust his child with just anybody. I can remember days him coming to pick me up from my grandmother's at 1 o'clock in the morning. But if I was with Margaret, he knew I was all right. And she took me places and she did things. I never was able to differentiate between her treatment of me or Tiger. In fact, Tiger probably said she treated me better. But it's just amazing. I remember, you know, and we were tough kids to deal with, Tiger. We really were. We were, you know, she had to deal with us having our band, and she let us practice at her house, which now that I've got a child that wants to play drums, I don't know how you did it. but we would. I think Tiger and I had about 3 different bands that we were running. And we'd have those keyboards set up, those speakers, you have guitars, you have drummers, and she never even blinked. And this is just the first stage of life that I had with Margaret. So then I left, went to college, went to law school, and I came back home, and it was time to work. And that's when I became in awe of Margaret Murchison. And the thing that I was in awe of, it wasn't just special to know Margaret as an African American. And if you were a woman, it wasn't just special to see all of her accomplishments as a woman. Just as a human being, what she was able to do in the community and for the community constantly, without wavering. And I think, you know, Governor Wick is going to get up here in a little bit, and he's going to talk about Jimmy Love, who was also very special in my career and life. And both of them will tell you, public life is tough enough just doing the things you're supposed to do. But then when you go over and beyond, like a Margaret Murchison, doing things nobody's expecting of you, nobody's asking you to do, but that you're constantly there for. If there's any function that you need, if you were in the Democratic Party, if you had a civic organization, Rotary, Kiwanis, whatever, if there's something that you needed, Margaret Murchison was going to make sure that you got it. If there was some way that you needed to succeed, she put you in the best position to succeed. And she never, ever differentiated. All she ever asked of anybody is that you give your best when you have the opportunity. And that's what she taught me about public service. So again, I could read all these awards, I could read all these things, but you guys can see that in the program. But the person that she is why I'm glad to see her recognized now. You know, a lot of us, it was funny when we were talking earlier about this, you know, Mike was saying it's not a funeral. It's not a funeral, but it's funny how we don't always celebrate people when they're here to tell them how special they are to us, how much they mean to us, and how much they meant to our community. And that's why I'm so happy to see her get this recognition, because I can promise you all these awards she's gotten, which are great awards and great recognitions, are not the same as your community telling you, thank you for being you. And what I can tell you personally is thank you for being you, because you gave me vision, you gave me hope, you gave me a belief, that I could be anything I wanted at any time. And it will never, ever be enough thank yous for you for doing that, and for doing that for so many children along the way, and so many adults that have had a chance to be graced with your presence. So I just want to tell you thank you for being you. Thank you, Mr. Murchison. I can't call you Fred. Thank you, Mr. Murchison, for sharing. Thank you, Tiger, for letting all of us be the children of your mother, because it's tough on families too. But she always made it work, and nobody ever suffered for it. So that is why I am honored and proud, and hopefully have not embarrassed you too bad for introducing you. But you are the greatest community servant and the greatest mother, friend, family member anybody could ever have, Margaret Murchison.
I don't know how to follow that. Wrong, you all call it Representative Reeves, that's wrong to me. He's always been my other son. And like he said, all of the instruments, the musical instruments, his dad used to tell him, son, you gotta do something besides play instruments, you gotta get a real job. So that's why he is an attorney today. He had to give up some of those instruments, and my son had to give up his instruments. But I am overwhelmed to see all of you. I think my friends and Jimmy's friends are all the same people. And I am so honored. I don't know what to say. I just believe that there's no such word as can't in the dictionary. A lot of people just say, I'm tired, I don't want to do anything else. We do get tired. But as long as there's a need out there, then I'm gonna be out there. My husband just had to put up with me not coming home yet. And I know he gets tired of me not being home on regular schedule, but that's just not me. I'm not as lucky as my friend Lisa Wicker and Michael's wife. They have a new grandbaby, so I don't have a grandbaby yet. That's a hint. So I'm gonna stay out until somebody brings me a grandbaby. But I want to say thank you to all of you all, especially all of my friends, co-workers, former co-workers, committee people, my family and my church family. And I want you all to recognize my good friend and neighbor, the oldest member in our church, Miss Sarah Jackson, who's 95 years old, and she's sitting right there. And no matter what I'm involved with, Miss Sarah's always, she's willing to go. If I ask her to go with me, she'll go, or she'll find another way to get there if I don't ask her to go with me. And at her age, she is still doing things. I guess that's where I get some of these ideals from, that you're not supposed to say no. And I have to tell you one story, Miss Jackson. When we had the snow about a month ago, the city workers came down with the big trucks, and they pushed the snow, and they left it in her driveway. I don't know why it matters. She doesn't have a car. She doesn't drive. But she called the city and told them, you think because I'm old, I don't know what you're doing, but you got this snow in my driveway, and I want it out, and I'm going to start coming to all the meetings so I can tell you that senior citizens still have a voice. And an hour later, the city trucks came and moved on the snow. So I guess what I'm saying is I want to be like Miss Jackson. I hope I live to be 95, and I hope I'm still helping somebody along the way, because as long as there is breath in my body and I feel okay, I will be working with children or senior citizens. I like to be an advocate for both. And I think I've worked in just about every board and commission in Lee County, but I still have a few years left. So thank you all so much.
So without any further ado, on behalf of the Lee County Community Foundation, we want to recognize you and give you this. This is a token. This is not crystal. It's not gold. It's a token of our appreciation and our appreciation of what you've done. And just like you said, you've got a lot more to do. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Now, if I thought the first one was hard to introduce, I'm about to introduce Dennis Wicker. How many times have you heard his introduction and his bio? Probably a lot, right? So, here it goes. And I'm going to do a little something different that I promise you nobody has ever done, so don't worry about it, I won't embarrass you. So, Dennis Wicker was born in 1952. You probably knew that. Graduated from UNC Chapel Hill, was an undergraduate, went on to the Wake Forest School of Law, where he got his law degree. And then he entered politics. And you know, he served in the North Carolina House of Representatives from 1981 to 1983. From 1981, and he's born in 52, how old was he? I'll tell you real quick, he was 29 years old. I think I heard that that was one of the youngest legislators we've ever had. And you know, he's been a voice of our community, a voice of the state for a long time. And you know what? Everywhere we go, if you hear the name, this is well of pride that just wells up in it about Dennis Wicker. And he was the 31st Lieutenant Governor from 1993 to 2001. As Lieutenant Governor, he became the first statewide elected official to chair the State Board of Community Colleges, which sets policy and the state's 58 campus system. Wicker is also a member of the North Carolina State Board of Education and the State Board of Economic Development. He is the leader of the Government Relations Group in the Raleigh office of the Nelson Mullins Raleigh Scarborough LLP. Wicker is a regular panelist for the television show North Carolina Spin, discussing various current issues in North Carolina politics. You ever cut that on? And you see him on there, it's kind of amazing to see one of our own on television and having some of the conversations that he has. It's really, I really like doing that. I really like seeing him. Wicker is a founding member of the Lee County Educational Foundation, and this is where his passion probably lies as strong as his own educational issues. I was told today by somebody very close to him that one of the things that he was passionate about years ago was having internet in all the schools. You're like, well, big deal, that's been done. Yeah, but back then we didn't know what the internet was. This is an acclaimed public-private venture dedicated to improving the quality of public education in the Lee County public schools. I know for a fact that all these schools get this money that this public-private venture raises, and pretty much at his leadership, and we're so thankful for what he's done in that endeavor. He also sits on the board of directors at Coca-Cola Consolidated and my employer, First Bank. And here's where it gets a little twist. He is married to the beautiful Lisa Wicker, and they have 3 sons, Quinn, Jackson, and Harrison. But now they have 2 that we call them daughters. Caitlin is very beautiful, and Meredith. And guess what? They have a new grandson, Hayes Jackson Wicker. And for the first time, I'm going to introduce the Honorable Dennis A. Wicker, his grandpa Wicker.
Well, before I get into my remarks about Jimmy, good evening to everyone. Michael, thank you very much for that very kind, I think, introduction. And what he did not tell you was that I am Grandpa Wicker and Granddaddy Wicker, but he is too. We happen to have a grandchild born on the same day, and his wife Penny and Michael have been a part of our family well over a year, and we welcomed Hayes to the family February 1, and we're tickled to have him. Now, anytime you speak in public, as you know, you have to introduce your wife. So, Lisa, would you please stand and let me recognize you? Otherwise, I won't be going home and I'll be able to tell. I have to comment on Representative Reeves, if I may, Margaret, call him that. Representative Reeves, he's like a son to me too. And as you know, his father was on my staff when I was Lieutenant Governor, longtime county commissioner here. And I remember telling Robert Reeves Sr. that I really thought of him as a son as well. And he said, well, you just remember one thing, he looks a lot more like me than you. That sounds just like your dad. One thing I wanted to also tell you about is I had a little conversation with Jimmy before the festivities got underway tonight, and I was telling him, I sort of leaned into him and I said, Jimmy, you know, we practiced law together for 15 years, and I don't know why you asked me to do this tonight, because I know the truth about you. And he didn't miss a beat. Now, he's still sharp. And he looked at me and said, well, Wicker, don't forget, I speak after you do. You know, in my time, I have had the opportunity to introduce many people with a great deal of honor and privilege. I've introduced presidents of the United States. I've introduced governors. I've introduced many lieutenant governors. I've introduced generals. No queens or no kings. But I cannot tell you that this presentation tonight of the Man of the Year is someone that I consider to be one of the most influential people in my lifetime. I can count on my right hand the number of people that have really had the most influence on me as a person, if I may take a moment of personal privilege to tell you. And one of them is Jimmy Love. You know, one's your father and your mother, your brothers, you get down the list, Paul Gay, but another one was Jimmy Love. And I say that to you because he's a person that deserves any recognition that any person can receive. It was about 40 years ago this year that I was finishing law school at Wake Forest, and I was trying to come home, and I knew I wanted to practice law in Sanford. Join my colleagues here in Sanford at the bar. And as a result of that, I started searching for the firm I wanted to practice, where I wanted to practice. And I talked to my father about it, and then he said to me, son, why don't you go down there and talk to Jimmy Love? And I couldn't believe that Jimmy Love would want to talk to me about practicing law with him. I really couldn't. But I went down there, and he was literally excited about the idea that I might come home and practice law with him, and I did. And we did practice together for 15 years. And you get to know someone who's your law partner, who you work with every day. You get to know them very well. I'll come back to that. But let me tell you why Jimmy, I think, is so deserving of this honor. As you know, when he came back to Sanford after finishing at Chapel Hill and law school and undergrad, he had earned a scholarship there, playing both baseball and football. He was quite an athlete. And earned his degrees, came back to Sanford, had the good judgment to marry a Harnett County girl, Miss Etta Love. Etta, please stand, because he did marry up. I can tell you that. And started practicing law here He became a very successful lawyer. I think anybody that knows anything about the history of the bar of Lee County knows that Jimmy was a very successful lawyer, a very worthy opponent in any case. He had clients such as the school board, such as the community college, and other clients such as the city of Sanford, the town of Broadway. He represented the top of the line clients in this county and in this bar. And he also became very involved in the community. He was a Paul Harris Fellow in the Rotary Club. You all know most of this. He chaired and was part of the Chapin Foundation, which endowed money to help for worthy causes in the county, gave away hundreds of thousands of dollars through the years, orchestrated one for the Lee County Foundation that someone mentioned earlier, and perhaps this organization. Jimmy was also very involved in politics, as we all know. He served 7 terms of the North Carolina House. One term he served as powerful chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, which funds everything from our public schools to our higher education to a wholesome environment to law enforcement, and you go down the line. It had something to do with everything in state government. Jimmy, earlier in his life, had served honorably in the Air Force as an officer, served his country. And I could go on and on. I literally could. He had 4 very accomplished children. Most of you know here in the room. And I got to tell you, though, I want to come back to the personal point of knowing someone that you practice law with for 15 years. And we still remain very, very close today. I'll call him from time to time, ask his advice, even today. Or he'll call me and ask me what's going on with something up in Raleigh. We stay in touch constantly. But I will tell you, the person that Jimmy Love isn't really ever told many times. He taught me so much, not only about politics, not only about people, but he taught me as my mentor about what it meant to be a lawyer. Not necessarily to earn a good living, but lawyers were there to help people who were going through perhaps a rough patch in their lives and help them solve their problems. That's what a lawyer was about. He taught me that you take someone's case when they really needed you. When they really needed you, even though you knew they couldn't afford to pay you your fee. That's who he is. That's the kind of individual he is. And that's why I think Jimmy Love is so deserving of this honor. Not because of the things that he's done that's been recorded in history and will be with the generations who come behind us to know about. It's about what's in his heart. You know what I mean when I say that? What's in his heart. That's what Jimmy Love's all about. Helping out people, being there for them, always having their back, lifting them up, being true to them, being fightful for your cause. That's what he taught me. That's what I'm the beneficiary of. The wisdom, the guidance has made an indelible etch and mark on my heart. And it'll be there until the day I die. And so tonight, I am very pleased that the Lee County Community Foundation recognized him for this very deserving honor. But I want to tell you one last thing. It comes from Jimmy's humble beginnings that molded him and shaped him and made him the person that he is, and as we know him. And that's illustrated, I think, Margaret, by the first thing out of his mouth as a quote in the Sanford paper when it was announced that you all were the honorees, and how thrilled he was to be with you and being honored next to you this evening. That's who he is. It's not about him, it's about us. And so I congratulate and applaud this foundation for recognizing him and Margaret Murchison. And I wish to say to you that you will never know, Jimmy, the lives you have touched and the people who love you. So, it is with great pride and the greatest of honor and the greatest of privilege that I present to you, Jimmy Love, your honoree tonight.
After it was announced about this honor, which I really appreciate, it really is an honor, and I thank you all for that. After that was announced, everywhere I go, they say, "Now, Jimmy, I want you to keep it short." And so I went to church Sunday, Joe Lawrence grabbed me and said, "Now keep it short." A couple of people said, "Now go see Dr. McConnell and see how he handled it last year." So I saw it. And he told me he talked for 30 minutes. But I'm not going to do that. But I did make some notes since Joe told me to keep it short. Just a couple of things I want to say. I want you to accept my gratitude about being honored here tonight. It really is a blessing, and I really appreciate it. After I got the notice that I'd received this honor, then I found out later that all of my family was going to be here. My brothers, my sisters, my grandchildren, and everybody. And I started thinking, I said, well, you know, I better call my doctor. Well, I got a nice note from my minister, and I said, I better call my doctor. I wrote he's withholding something from me. but at any rate, it's been a pleasure, and I want to thank Dennis for his remarks. It's just good that I didn't have to tell you everything I know about him. Very circumspect about it. The thing that I wanted to talk to you about is this. In the biographical stuff page in the program tonight, there's a comment in there, or a statement, that I served as law clerk to Chief Justice Windler. And I did, and that was a real privilege. And after I served a year with Judge Windler, of course, people from big law firms would come to Raleigh, and they would want to offer me employment. And so after the end of the year, I had people calling on me, and there was a group from Asheville. I never will forget it, and that's what I want to tell. It's a little story. I want to digress a minute. A group of 2 lawyers from Asheville, a big firm, came to Raleigh and met with me and said, Jimmy, we want to offer you a job. And I said, well, I pretty much decided that I'm going to Sanford and Lee County to practice law. That's where I was raised. That's where I was born. And one of the lawyers spoke up and said, well, Jimmy, said Lee County is a nice county. Sanford's a nice little town, but it's not a destination town. It's not a destination county. He says, now if you come with us to Asheville, that's a destination county. And Buncombe County is a destination, tourism and everything else, and you'll make a lot of money. I said, well, that may be true, but I made up my mind that I'm going to Lee County, because I think Lee County is a destination county, and that Sanford is a destination town. So I made up my mind that I would do that. And the reason that I considered Lee County a destination town are the people here. the people look after each other, just like this organization that gave us this honor tonight. They look after people. We have good industry. We have good politicians. We have a real active political climate in Lee County. We have good employment. We have good churches. We have good schools. We have a good community college. And while I'm on that point about schools, people seem to try to run down our schools in Lee County, and I don't know why, but people who live here. But the students in Lee County that graduate from our school compete academically, athletically, with the people all over this state. Just this year, I'm looking out at a man that was a Morehead Scholar right there. I'm looking at another man, the man that introduced me, he Phi Beta Kappa at Chapel Hill. We've had people going to Harvard. We had people going to Notre Dame. Our students compete favorably with students from every part of North Carolina. And I think that we should be proud of that. We should be proud of that. Our community college is rated as one of the best in the state, one of the best in the nation. And I think we are a destination place when it comes to people getting educated. And I'll tell a story about Webb McCracken's father. When I was playing football, we had pretty good teams back when I was in high school, and his father was a Duke man. And I don't know how Webb ended up at Chapel Hill, but his father was a Duke man. But he was really interested, just like this organization that you represent. He was really interested in young people. He was really interested in the community. And Mr. McCracken, one day, it was when I was a senior in high school, the principal called me and said, you know, get your books and come on up to the office. And I didn't know exactly what was going on. And Mr. McCracken was waiting for me. And he said, Jimmy, we're going over to Duke today. He was on a first name basis with Coach Murray, Bill Murray, who was the coach of Duke at that time. And Mr. McCracken, he said, we're going over to Durham, we're going to talk to Bill Murray. He said, I want you to go to Duke. I said, well, Mr. McCracken, I've sort of decided I was going to Chapel Hill, but I'll go. I really appreciate it. So we went over to Duke, and he walked in to Mr. Murray's office, and he greeted him, you know, and he said, now, here's the best quarterback in North Carolina, Bill. I want you to have him over here at Duke. And Coach Murray said, well, we've been looking at Jimmy, but we always thought that he was going to Chapel Hill. That's what we had been told. And he really was going to play baseball. And so they talked on a while, and he said, you know, we'd like to have Jimmy over here. And Mr. McCracken said, well, now, we'll send him over here if you'll take him. He said, well, I want Jimmy to know one thing. This is what Coach Murray said. He said, I want Jimmy to know one thing. He said, we've already recruited a quarterback. And Mr. McCracken wouldn't stop. You know, he kept saying, now, Jimmy is the man you need. And Coach Murray kept talking about, well, I want to be fair with Jimmy now. We've already recruited one quarterback this year. And Mr. McCracken said, well, now, Bill, he said, who is this quarterback that you've recruited that you keep talking about? He said, well, he's a red-headed kid from down here in Wilmington named Sonny Jerky. So as he was walking out the door, I told Mr. McCracken I believe I was going to stay in Chapel Hill. But I really do sincerely appreciate this honor tonight, and I ask that you continue to do the work that you are doing. And I wish all of you the best of luck, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, I have all of my family here tonight, and I really appreciate everything that they've done to support me over the years. You can't, unless you got your family support, you really can't do anything. And so I want to continue, if I continue to have good health, to do what I can for this county and this area. And thank you very much.
On behalf of the Lee County Community Foundation, again, it's a token, and you can't stop serving. We want to give you this little token of recognition of our appreciation of being the Man of the Year for 2018. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long night. Thank y'all so much for attending. I will ask you to look at the brochures at the back. If there's a nonprofit here tonight that is interested in entering a grant application, please see Dawn or myself. And without any further ado, oh yeah, the table arrangements. Fight among yourselves. Whoever at the table would like to have that arrangement, let's see a brawl. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for our honorees, their families, and for you attending. Good evening.
I got the number, Mr. Jimmy.
Good to see you, bud. How you doing? Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for what you do. She's trying to make her way up here. How are you saying? Bill Wilson.
Tied up. They had people lined up. Jimmy.
So much.
Jimmy's been my pal ever since I started working with the news. He's always been Jimmy Love.
We consider our honorees poster.
She had it memorized.